Before we get started, you might have seen a video floating around on YouTube from SunnyV2 talking about how primitive building videos are pretty much all fake. That, or you would have seen Critical's video reacting to the SunnyV2 video, with the main point being that the majority of those wholesome videos you see of people making mud houses, fires, or even little canals, they're fake. The majority of them are completely staged, and just that shot of the camera, there's a huge construction team ready to take over. But I'm here to tell you that the plague of staged content has moved far from the borders of wholesome building videos, and now it has completely contaminated restoration videos. I'm sure you've heard of restoration videos. It's those videos where someone gets a thing, usually covered in rust, and then they get the rust off, and you look at it before and after it was covered in rust, and you go, oh my god, that looks so clean, it's so satisfying. It's basically one of those try not to be satisfied videos, but instead of it being putty that someone puts their fingers in, it's usually getting rust off a 50 cal Desert Eagle. But yeah, unfortunately, to break the news, the majority of them are completely fake. There was a video uploaded by a YouTuber called Ballistics, a channel that mainly focuses on restoring firearms from the 1900s to more modern guns, and posted a video titled "Most restoration videos are fake, here's how to spot them."
I've been doing many restoration videos recently, since that allows me to provide some sort of scientific content while keeping people interested, and in this period nothing interests viewers more than the word restoration combined with a rusted object on a thumbnail.
I hate to admit it, but this guy is totally spot on. If you right now go onto the YouTube search bar, type in restoration, and you filter it by the most viewed video, you'll probably be greeted by a video that only came out about a year ago, and it has over 100 million views. They even put in the thumbnail how many views the video has. Cheers for that, by the way. I couldn't look 3 centimeters to the right. I'd never be able to tell. Now, the reason Ballistics made this video is because he had a lot of comments asking him how to tell fake videos apart, and he's even had a couple comments calling his videos fake. And essentially, he made this video so we, the audience, could be able to tell the difference between genuine videos and completely staged ones. Now, the main gist of what he's trying to get at is for most staged videos, someone will buy something that's already in pristine condition and then completely ruin it themselves. Doing that means that they know how to undo the damage that they've done to the object, meaning that the final product will look good as new. He's essentially made 2 categories: strong fakes, which are the Saul Goodmans, and then mild fakes, which are the Chuck McGills.
A strong fake is one in which the look of the object is altered through a process different than natural decay phenomena. In its most common form, the item is covered in a mixture of dyes, pigments, binders and fillers, usually tailored to look like some form of corrosion product. It's basically painted over, often with commercially available products. You can usually spot this kind of scammy content quite easily just by looking carefully. For example, there is no reason for a plastic or rubber piece to become rust-colored, nor for a steel object to develop green or bluish corrosion products. If you see a steel object with green stuff on it, then what you're looking at is most certainly fake.
He makes a great point here, and I love with hindsight that we can tell like how horribly fake these are. I totally understand that someone passing rusted steel as green, but why would a car tire that's made of rubber have rust on it? Honestly, at this point, get any kid to install Minecraft, tell them to mine copper, and then see what happens after 10 minutes. He even goes on to mention that these strong fakes, their attempt to cover up that it's actually not genuine, is pathetic.
Another thing that could give away one of these fakes is the presence of uncovered areas that have been missed during the application of fake rust. For example, a Slings's Weaver could leave a shadow during spraying, and there's no natural process that would leave such an appearance.
He also makes a good point that removing the rust from the metal, it's quite a heavy process and you need an erosive tool, and the problem is that's going to cause is it corrosion or erosion? I don't want to fucking butcher it here. Corroding. Yeah, it's not like just pulling PVA glue off your fingers. It's going to cause damage to the metal. So usually if you remove rust, you're going to have layers of little scratches and craters, but in these videos they remove the rust and it looks completely brand new. It almost reminds me, you know those like daytime TV shows where they have like a chef on and it's like, look at this amazing meal you could make. They tell you all the steps to make it. Oh no. And then they just go, here's one I made earlier, and they just pull it out of an oven like someone else made it. So that pretty much covers up strong fakes. They're usually that comedically bad that you can pretty much tell. But mild fakes take up the majority of YouTube, and they're a lot more harder to spot, a bit more crafty. Now, what mild fakes tend to do is speed up the process. They'll intentionally bury an object, or they'll dip it in some kind of acid or liquid to erode it faster. It is genuine as opposed to, like, you know, painting dirt on yourself, but it's the equivalent of spending $50 on Candy Crush so you can skip 200 levels. You cheated. You cheated not only the game, but yourself. Disgusting vermin.
First of all, corrosion that happened over many years looks different. Look for these lamps. They are very hard crystals of corrosion products and they take very long to form. This one was on the K98K I restored. Another one where you can clearly see them is the Model 91 Carcano and also the Steyr 1912 that I did last. In order to cause this rusting on purpose, I would have needed to start doing it before I even thought of doing YouTube.
Now, I do want to say, I'm British. I am not a gun scholar. The first time I ever fired a gun, it had a silencer on it. And I was genuinely convinced that firing that gun would make the exact same noise as a PPK in GoldenEye. Only to fire the gun and then have a panic attack from how loud the noise was and going partially deaf. The point I'm trying to make is, this backyard guy, his entire bread and butter is about restoring guns, so he knows exactly what he's talking about, even to the point of distinguishing how erosion marks could have been fabricated or not. Even to the point of looking at the marks of a gun to see if it's old damage from years ago or it's been faked to look good for the video. He also makes the point that guns in Europe are pretty heavily tracked as opposed to, you know, Burgerland. Ramirez! So you'll see a lot of these videos being like, oh, I found rocket launcher in abandoned house in Birmingham. I mean, no, to be fair, you probably would find that in Birmingham, but Birmingham is not all of Europe.
However, this is not good for the average fake restoration channel, since very popular and video game famous guns are way more likely to gather millions of views, so restoration channels are actually encouraged to ruin some modern ones.
I love this notion that you have these gun restoration channels that are built solely around Zoomers that looked up a gun in Fortnite. You imagine 5 years from now, you get like FPS Russia come back. I have Fortnite chug jug. Today, guys, we're going to be restoring the double pump shotgun and John Wick skin from Fortnite. He just pulls up Keanu Reeves from the grave and just starts like dusting him.
That is because some parts, especially if they are covered by something else, including the stock, tend to retain lubricants and preservatives, and therefore resist corrosion much better than other, more exposed parts.
And the thing is, I want to say as well, he's not lying. The entire time I watched this video for reference, in my recommended, the first video I recommended at the top right was a video about restoring a Desert Eagle, and that has 22 million views.
On the other hand, channels that get several millions of views per video actually earn so much from it that an expensive gun to ruin is an affordable expense.
I just like to imagine this setting of like Far Cry 2 Africa. You've got these warlords and they just hoard all these AKs, not to sell them on, but just so they can do gun restoration videos for their YouTube channels. So yeah, moral of the story is money bad. Money bad if it's not in my pocket.